Good morning, students. Today we shall discuss about the poem "The world is too much with us." This poem is written by William Wordsworth, who belongs to Romantic age of English literature, whose time period is 1770 to 1850. He was born in Cockermouth, Cumberland, and he was the eldest Romantic poet. Romantic poetry is divided into two sections: younger romantics and elder romantics. The younger romantics include G.G. Byron, P.B. Shelley, and John Keats. Elder romantics include William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, Charles Lamb, and William Hazlitt. Now the question arises, why do we call them younger romantics and elder romantics? Younger romantics because they died at prematurity stage. Elder romantics because they were the senior most and they have great contribution in the upliftment of romantic movement. This romantic movement was started by the collaborative efforts of William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, they have great contribution in the field of poetry. Charles Lamb and William Hazlitt, they have immense contribution in the field of prose writing, or you can say in essay writing. Now we shall come to the point, "The world is too much with us," a poem where the poet asserts that we should not follow the path of materialistic approach, rather we should follow the path of nature. Nature is a treasure house of beauty and we must respect nature, we must show inclination towards nature. Though one thing I already told you, romantic poets used to write about nature. Nature is their prime topic. The poem "The world is too much with us," late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers, little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon, this sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not, great God. I would rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on the pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or here all Triton blows his raised horn. The gist of the poem is that we spend our time in earning and spending. We don't have spare time for the sake of nature. We are not moved by the winds, flowers, valleys, hills. We are running behind wealth, and we are nothing to do with nature. So Wordsworth opposed this tradition. He was of the view that he does not like to dwell in such a society where people sacrifice their bread and butter for the sake of money. He does not like such Christianity. He wants to change his religion. He wants to convert himself into pagan. Pagan is a religion where gods and goddess of nature are primarily concerned. So, this poem teaches the lesson that we should not follow the path of materialistic approach. Rather, we should respect nature, we should care for nature, we should not abide by materialism, we should follow a proper decorum, we should get inspiration from nature. Nature acts as a mother, nurse or teacher. Nature is a treasure house of beauty. Nature is a treasure of treasures. And the message is for the common masses that they should adhere to the nature. And this poem is in the form of sonnet. Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines in decasyllabic iambic pentameter. This poem is divided into two parts, octave and sestet. In the octave part, the poet presents the problem portion. In the sestet part, the poet presents the solution part. The problem is that we are living in materialistic world, but the solution is that we should follow the religion of nature. The sonnet belongs to the earlier group, inspired by the reading of Milton's works. It is one of the most characteristic products of Wordsworth, the poet and moralist. The thought of the sonnet may be stated thus: no religion can be vital that does not make nature full of noble meaning for us. It is to this sonnet that Professor W.S. Wendorf refers when he says, "Yet in the best verses he ever wrote," reverts to the powerful influence of that pagan creed. The poet is pained to see the growing tendency of the people of his time towards wealth and wasteful pleasures. He feels sorry for the loss of appreciation of the beauty of nature. The people are busy with earning money all the time. They devote all their energies to the collection of wealth and spending it on wasteful pleasures. People have exchanged their finer sensibilities for the accumulation of wealth in and out of season. They never look at the beautiful sight of the sea with the moon shining with its silvery light. They also do not appreciate the calm and quiet aspects of nature. The poet is much filled up with the ugly life of his time, that he desires to break the shackles of materialism of his times. He desires to go back to the simple and unsophisticated days of the pagan time, so that he may enjoy himself in the beautiful aspects of nature. He wishes to have vision of the gods of nature like Triton and Proteus, The poet is ready to embrace paganism of ancient Greece rather than continue to be a follower of Christianity. He hopes to be able to enjoy himself in nature. So the conclusion of this poem is that the poem is written in romantic tradition, and romantic poets used to write about nature, melancholy, humanism, and they personify the nature. They treat nature as a lively and lovely objects of nature. Nature is a versatile aspect, and we must not forget nature. Okay, good luck, best wishes. Thank you.